All right, y'all. It's time for week one matchups. Thought I would have a little fun and send out my predictions here. So, first matchup we have on the slate, we got the K-Town Hillbillies versus the Chodeskins. By my analysis, I think this is a close matchup here for week one. Chris Carson for the Chodeskins. I think he has a great matchup and could absolutely dominate a shitty Bengals fucking D this week. And I really like Wentz and Juju here. I think they would have two solid performances. But in my opinion, there's just way too many Eagles for my liking for the Hillbillies of K-Town. So I give the slight edge here for week one to the Chodeskins. Congratulations, Chodeskins. All right, matchup number two, we got the Wapahos versus the Asian Bell Cows. Both teams have plenty of players that could carry them here to victories in week one. But with Don's inability to start the right players and put them in his starting lineup, I just see the Asian Cows cruising here to victory here in week one. Next up, we have a bunch of Niglets versus the Bust Pile. I love both Baker Mayfield and OBJ this week. I think they could be absolute monsters. But I think the Bust Pile's high-powered offense will be way too much for these little Niglets, and I just see this being probably the most lopsided matchup here in week one, as Bust Pile easily wins and takes home the victory. Next, we have the Cooler versus Lock It Up. Surprisingly, I think this could be a really close matchup here this week. The Cooler, they have some really nice matchups as both Detroit and Houston can have monster games, in my opinion, playing weak defenses. But on the other end, I have Lock It Up's QB, Deshaun Watson, as the number one QB here this week. But with Watson's number one pass catcher being on the roster for the Cooler, I just I think that might be the tipping factor, and also with the uncertainty of how much McCoy is going to eat into Damian Williams' carries, I'm going to go give the nod here to the Cooler. But John has to get it right with his starting lineup this week for that to happen. Next up, we have Snapped versus the Fish. This is kind of the matchup versus good running backs versus good wideouts. As long as Tyreek Blackness Hill doesn't break a couple long ones, I actually think Snap cruises here in week one. So, and hold on a second. There's an update here that it looks like Antonio Brown may be suspended. Oh, that changes a little bit. Oh, wow. But I'm going to stick to my prediction, and I'm going to give that victory to the Snap. Congratulations, Buck. Last but not least, we have Living on a Prayer versus the Smoothcocks. This hurts to say, but I don't think the Cocks last too long here this week. Hudson wins this week one matchup, I think, pretty easily. In fact, I predict that Hudson is the top point scorer of week one, in my opinion. And as I say that, I visualize Tim Hudson's that subtle no-look fist pump he does. Just a small one to himself in his room, sitting by himself. But that's it. That's my matchups. Those are my predictions for week one. As always, I'll probably see you guys in the playoffs, and go Cox.